Roseburg and Coos Bay. KVAL News at 5 starts now.
I mean, it's going to be very costly for people to take advantage of this country. They can't come in and steal our money and steal our jobs and take our factories and take our businesses and expect not to be punished.
Tariffs on Canada and Mexico set to take effect in 4 hours. That's 25% on nearly all goods imported from Mexico and Canada, and an additional 10% on goods from China. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brandon Kamerman.
And I'm Kendall Bartley. Business owners and consumers across the nation are bracing for those tariffs. KVAL's Gold Meadows spoke with one local business owner who says ultimately it's the smaller local businesses that have the most to lose.
Inside the 5th Street Public Market in Eugene, where local treasures abound, is Eugene Burger Company, owned by Travis Endell. 2 years ago, Endell opened up shop, and he says the burger spot is now keeping a close watch on what's happening in Washington, D.C., as President Trump's tariffs could hike costs he and his customers incur.
It's inevitably going to have an impact on all consumer goods and products. And, it's going to possibly lead to just higher prices across the board, overpriced, where we're going to have to look to source from other places. And I think it's just going to cause quite a bit of problems for all kinds of industries.
According to the Associated Press, top imports from China include cell phones and electronics, toys, furniture, and clothes. Mexico imports a large amount of produce into the U.S., like avocados and strawberries. As for Canada, the U.S. Energy Information Administration says in 2023, the U.S. imported 52% of its daily barrels of petroleum from Canada. The Bay Area Chamber of Commerce tells us some lumber companies like Southport Lumber could also see impacts since many get a large portion of their lumber from Canada. President Trump says it's not just a tariff war, but a war on drugs.
No room left for Mexico or for Canada. No, the tariffs, they're all set. Vast amounts of fentanyl have poured into our country from Mexico. And as you know, also from China, where it goes to Mexico and goes to Canada. And China also had an additional 10, so it's 10 plus 10.
That's a total of 20% in tariffs for China and 25% tariffs on products from Mexico and Canada. Levies that might throw a wrench into Trump's promise to end inflation, with costs expected to rise. Unlike large corporations, Endell says smaller businesses don't have a cushion to fall back on in most cases. And right now, business growth isn't a wise option.
Nobody wants to overextend themselves, at least the business owners that I'm familiar with and speak with on a regular basis. Somebody who is in their own brick and mortar, sitting on a corner, isolated, it's difficult to get people to consistently come through the doors, even if you have great food to offer. And so when you add all these new concerns as a business owner, it's risky to think about any expansion or investing in a new business in the community.
In Eugene, I'm Gold Meadows reporting.
Endell tells us the food industry is still healing from the pandemic, but together they will rise again with hopes the tariff war is short-lived. Meanwhile, tonight, a controversial executive order from President Trump reigniting a fierce debate over Oregon's forests.
Yeah, the directive aims to ramp up logging on public lands, cutting environmental protections in the name of economic growth and wildfire prevention. Now, while some welcome the order, critics say it is a giveaway to the timber industry at the expense of wildlife, clean water, and climate resilience.
KVAL's Tiffany Lewis joins us live from our backyard at Blanton Studios in South Eugene. Tiffany, what are the local reactions?
Well, from drill baby drill to log baby log, on Saturday, President Trump directed federal agencies to find ways to bypass burdens to timber production, like endangered species protections and other environmental regulations across 280 million acres of public national forests. This move comes as the president considers tariffs on timber imports from Canada and a few other countries. I spoke to a local environmental group and a logging contractor for their take on how the executive order will impact Oregon.
The stated purpose of this executive order is to fully exploit our public forests, not to improve their health.
I don't know a single logging company, logger, employee that wants to be a destructive force in our forest.
A sweeping order from President Trump directs the Department of Interior and the Department of Agriculture, which oversee the Bureau of Land Management and the U.S. Forest Service, to expedite timber production by streamlining regulations, including those under the National Environmental Policy Act and the Endangered Species Act. Oregon Wild, the state's oldest statewide environmental nonprofit, argues the order prioritizes corporate profits over conservation and public interest.
What this executive order does is try to get around those requirements, cut out the public from the process of how our public lands are managed, and also remove science from those decisions.
The agency worries that old growth and mature forests will be targeted. They play a crucial role in storing carbon, protecting wildlife, and wildfire resilience. The order does not differentiate between forest types or ages and directs agencies to unburden themselves from laws designed to protect threatened and endangered species.
The types of ramped up logging that this executive order envisions and aims to implement are just completely contrary to the values of Oregonians.
Skyam Timber, a logging contractor company based in Cresswell, sees the executive order as an opportunity to boost economic growth, especially in rural areas, increase timber supply to address national housing shortages, and mitigate forest fires. The CEO also pushed back on what he called buzzwords from environmental protection agencies that he says misrepresent the logging industry.
We're stewards of the forest. Our industry has made great strides in the last 20 years to make sure that we have long-term benefits and healthy forests and clean water. And the use of buzzwords is really detracting from what we're trying to do.
Kamerman argues that laws requiring 3 to 5 trees be planted for every tree that's cut down will still apply and challenges the narrative surrounding clear cutting.
The people that are working these projects want a sustainable yield. We don't want to go in there and clear cut everything and take everything out and then not have a program where that's a viable healthy forest 30, 40, 50, 100 years down the road.
With the debate heating up, conservationists and industry leaders are watching closely as federal agencies decide how to implement the executive order. Governor Kotek and state officials have yet to announce any formal response to the executive order, but environmental groups are calling for legal challenges and stronger state-level protections. At Blanton Studios, I'm Tiffany Lewis.
Well, new at 5, a shooting in Eugene sent one to the hospital, closing down a portion of a neighborhood this afternoon.
Yeah, as we take a live look at the area near 23rd and Willamette, a much calmer situation now than really just an hour ago when police activity flooded the scene. The shooting occurred just after 3 p.m. Eugene police say the 2 people involved did know each other. This area just south of Willamette Street near 23rd Avenue.
Now, that did lead to an alert from the University of Oregon asking people to avoid the area. Once again, we are taking a live look at the scene. That alert from UO has since been canceled. Eugene police say there is no ongoing threat to the area. EPD says one person was taken to the hospital. We do not know the condition of that individual or whether anyone is in custody. We will continue to follow this story and bring you the latest as it comes into our newsroom.
Now, our next weather maker will be in the form of a cold front that will sweep across the area, bringing some rainfall with it. However, it doesn't appear to be a big rain event. The rest of the week looks to be fairly calm.
Alan, I was expecting a little bit more rainfall with your forecast from last weekend. The weekend was, or from last week, this weekend was gorgeous. And
my only question for you, Kendall, is
yes,
did you get outside?
I did.
Oh, that's all that matters to me.
It was wonderful.
Well, and it all depends on where you're at. Eugene didn't get a lot of rainfall over the weekend. Roseburg and Coos got a little bit more rainfall. We'll look at those numbers a little bit later on in the show. But let's show you what's going on right now, as we have seen a little bit of light rain for the day today. 52 degrees right now in Eugene, as we're seeing a mostly cloudy sky. Southwest wind at 11 and our humidity at 66%. We take a look at the radar satellite. Again, a few light showers popping up there. You really can't see them here. For the most part, you're seeing that cloud cover, and temperatures were in the low to mid 50s throughout the day today, so pretty close to average for this time of the year. Now, we're going to be looking at more rainfall developing tonight into your day on Tuesday. Those overnight temperatures will be in the low 40s. Those highs tomorrow will be in the low to mid 50s, although we could see a little bit of a clearing as we get later in the day on Tuesday. But like I said, rainfall likely tonight into Tuesday. We do have a chance of rain Wednesday and Thursday. It's not a great chance as temperatures remain near average, and we could be dry toward the end of the week. We'll break it all down with your full forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Thanks, Alan. Well, tonight, lawmakers in Salem are considering a bill from Governor Tina Kotek to cut red tape on housing. That bill would allow duplexes, triplexes, and townhomes in high-density areas while rolling back restrictions on restrictions that often slow down the development process.
Now, Governor Kotek says this bill is the next step to improving access to housing in Oregon. Salem Bureau reporter Vasily Varlamos was at today's press conference where the governor said this bill would make it easier for developers to build houses in high-density areas by, again, cutting red tape that often slows the process.
Governor Tina Kotek holding a press conference Monday, speaking in support of her office's bill aiming to expand housing options and speed up development.
So we're coming in this session with a bill to continue to remove barriers, to continue to streamline things, to get more options in our communities.
The 43-page bill provides more access to middle housing. Duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, and townhomes are examples of middle housing, which is often more affordable for those looking to buy a home. The bill would allow this type of housing in all areas zoned for residential use and in urban unincorporated lands. The bill would also limit barriers to housing development. Local governments would be unable to enact zoning changes that would reduce housing density, and private restrictions such as OHAs would not be allowed to limit the building of middle housing. A common issue in written testimony, a section of the bill taking away requirements for a demolition review of houses listed on the National Register of Historic Places. After taking public input, Governor Kotek's office instituted an amendment to take this out of the bill.
I don't want to get too technical, but it was going to make it easier to do some things in neighborhoods who are designated as historic neighborhoods. In the current iteration, we will, I have supported a change to the bill as introduced to remove that section.
That was Vasily Varlamos reporting. The bill has several amendments that will need to be worked on and discussed. Another public hearing with an updated version of the bill is going to happen in a few weeks.
Well, it's been 3 days since the Department of Education's deadline to remove DEI from schools or risk losing federal funding. The Eugene 4J School District says as of now, they still have access to federal funding. 4J was the first K-12 district in the nation to file a lawsuit against the administration's Dear Colleague letter, saying they needed further clarification. Now, the district says the Department of Education did send out a clarification letter at the end of last week. 4J has yet to share it with us. The district says as far as it knows, federal funding hasn't been pulled anywhere in the nation.